I'm the Kaiju no Kami here from Silver Quill's house. So we have, obviously...
Silver Quill, but I'm on the end of the couch somehow.
And...
I'm Cruellica Kain.
And she's center.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Ultraman Trigger! Episodes 14 and 15.
So episode 14 is called The Golden Thread.
Yes, this we had kicked off a tie-in to the Absolute Conspiracy from last year, which was a 10-episode miniseries that they put on YouTube for as a thank you for how many people they had watching Zet on their YouTube channel. So they did this as a thank you thing. That's this whole Ultra series that brings in all the previous Ultramen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, not human forms. It's just all
Yeah,
the
it's all of
Ultramen
them
suited.
Yep, it's all of them in suits. They don't go to Earth or anything because they're trying to solve this mystery of there's a villain who is going and taking other Ultra villains from different periods of time. So he goes and gets Baleo before he actually became truly his deformed look of Baleo.
And it was actually a pretty interesting backstory for Baleo because you got to see everything.
Reboot. He was the main one because he was the one they were expositing everything to, because he was like their newer character that is learning how to be an Ultra.
Although, can I just say that Ultraman Ribbit is not a good name because all I'm thinking of is a frog.
That's all I thought of when watching it. I'm like, Ribbit.
I know that in Japan they say frogs so kero, but I hear ribbit.
So our episode kicks off with
basically
my super ultra X psycho girlfriend
and Dagon, Stalker 2,
and Excellent.
Yes, an excellent day.
She's just whipping ground, and the villains from Absolute Conspiracy show up and like, hi, we're here. We're going to do some job for you. Bye.
And if you're not familiar with Absolute Conspiracy, which you're not, I know you
I've heard enough Absolute Conspiracies. The only absolute is the stench.
But their names are Absolute Diavolo and Absolute Tartarus.
Yes.
But I will call them Absolute Horse and Absolute Shit.
So they're just like, hi, we're here. We're going to be the villains for this next two-parter. Bye.
Oh yeah, and we lay claim to the Eternity Core, not you.
Yeah.
And the villains accept this.
It was really... because they were like, we're stronger than you, so we're going to kick your asses if you fight us.
Well, I'm just thinking more of when the camera ended too soon, and that if it had just keep going, they would have stood there like, what just happened? What's going on? And
so this episode was kind of like, we're gonna try to give you background for what happened in this web series and how it connects to this. And I was actually really confused sometimes.
And we watched Absolute Conspiracy.
Well, they watched Absolute Conspiracy.
Well,
again,
yeah.
My absolutes of conspiracies have all been on the internet.
But then we get Kengo.
I watch conspiracy theories, so.
Kengo transforming into his glitter force mode and not being able to control it or something.
Again.
But fighting the most 90s monster ever! This thing, it's got a gun for an arm, it's got like a battleship for the other arm, it's firing missiles over, it's got a cyborg half-head. This is the 90s monster fight, and it is glorious! Glorious!
Too bad it wasn't like a real 90s Ultra monster.
All we needed was like a mini Rambo in front of it, like, ah!
No, the problem is it was missing pouches.
Pouch? Oh, yes, it needs, and shoulder pads.
Yep.
It needed to borrow from Cable of X-Men.
But, so, not reboot, Kengo beats this monster, the monster shoots him in the arm. I swear, Kengo was like backing up and he was like, hey, there's a building in there. For dramatic effect, I'm gonna fall into this building. Jump, yeah!
Well, I actually thought of it as like a pill bug because the way it had like that shaped back, like circular, I thought of it as something that if it folded in on itself, it would be like a circular bug.
Oh, if it could fold in on itself and reveal missile launchers in between the plates, and just like spin in a circle while firing random missiles, be like, oh, I found my spirit animal.
But this monster, Darabolic, is a newer Ultraman series monster. It first appeared in Orb the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a brand new, it's one of the most recent.
Oh, I thought it was, I wasn't sure if it was a redo or entirely new. Has there been one entirely new monster in this entire show so far?
I think the monster we had that killed Kengo's parents.
Ah.
That has been the entire, well, in technic, kind of the Giants of Darkness, but kind of not, because they're actually taken from a Tiga movie. Their concept, not those characters specifically, but I haven't seen this Tiga movie, but apparently in this Tiga movie, he has an ex-evil girlfriend who comes to Earth trying to get Tiga back to her side.
In this Tiga movie? Because I think you said in this Tiga movie like 5 times.
Well, whatever.
Are we in this Tiga movie?
Apparently we are.
Oh my god.
But then
This Tiga movie better be as cool as this Tiga movie is sounding.
So then we have Kengo is getting bandaged up and Jafar walks and he's like, you guys need to wait. You know what? Take all the time you need.
Well,
Because he noted, he thinks to when Trigger got shot in the arm, and he looks at Kengo and like, okay.
See, I kind of feel like Jafar is one of those leaders that should have gotten that Kengo is Trigger like almost immediately, because in D&D standards, he has a really high initiative.
Well, especially because of how much favoritism he has from the Sawai, the
director.
Yeah.
Yeah, the director.
I kind of feel like that should have triggered that he is the Ultra.
I'm so proud of you.
I know.
I'm so proud of you.
Speaking of which,
It's a Halloween miracle.
speaking of pulling triggers,
Praise the dark elder spirit.
the song, I swear the opening song was different at the beginning.
Oh, it was.
It seemed like a technoized version of it.
Well, I'm not great with musical terms. So you know how a song can be divided into like 3 sets of verses?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
probably the whole song, but they took the second part to it.
Yes, it is the second part of the song. And so they might go with the third at some point.
Well, usually the way a lot of Japanese songs work, from what I've noticed in the opening, is they do the first piece and the third piece. So this is, I think it's the second and the third piece.
What about when they do the one piece?
Then it just takes 9,000 years to get over with.
You ain't kidding.
So,
That's true.
What was that for?
He was slugging the idea of one piece out the window. It hit a car. That car is now your friend.
that car is now in multiple pieces.
Okay, moving on.
So then, not Tartarus,
Diavolos
comes in
No, just
because
Diavolo.
he's the horny bastard.
Yes, he's the absolute shit.
He comes in, starts destroying stuff. Kengo has to jump in battle again, is getting his butt beat, and then Ribbit appears. Ribbit saves the day. And then the episode kind of just ends very abruptly there.
Well, it ends. One, Glitter is so worn out he can't finish the fight. He actually disappears.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he runs out of energy.
And then we see this weird human guy. Well, this human guy in this weird clothing. Tibetan?
I can't remember if Ribbit is Thai or Malaysia.
I'm not sure, but either way, he's dressed very exotically.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, I'm the Ultraman that just saved you." Now, the thing is, Ribbit just can't say it with a straight face. The only difference I see between him and the original Ultraman is this hand, this gauntlet piece.
Well, the shape of his design is not the same.
Do I really want to comment on Ultraman's shape? Because, Orb, I think he took that fall because he put a little junk in the trunk, if you know what I mean.
But, so then the episode ends, and I think we had a new ending theme, but...
We did. It was darker, more metal. Although now I don't think they should end with, what you going to do with that ultra junk? Ultra junk.
So apparently, from what I'm reviewing here, is that Ributo, how they say it in Japan, was created by a joint collaboration with Les Kopake Productions, the creator of Upin and Ipin, and Subaraya. Ribbit first appeared in the 8th season and 9th season of Upin and Ipin.
Right, which
Upin and Ipin.
which is a
That sounds like
Malaysia. Okay,
Yeah.
it is Malaysia.
It sounds like Upin and Ipin. These Ultraman names are getting weirder and weirder for me.
So
Look out! It's Upin and Ipin.
So he really is a newer character within the universe, because it sounds like this particular show was like a Malaysian Ultraman derivative.
Yeah, because Absolute Conspiracy was his first actual appearance in the Ultraman mythos.
Watch out, Upin and Ipin are getting beaten.
So then episode 2, or episode 15, I guess it should be, part 2, which was titled
Operation Dragon.
Yes.
Oh yes, we forgot to say how they really ended on the cliffhanger.
Yes. Akito.
Edgelord.
Edgelord.
Comes and
Just
says,
get his name right.
he's like,
Edgelord.
I've created a new toy that kids will love that can transform our ship, but we can't transform it yet.
Right, plus we gave it away in a commercial last time.
So then we have episode kicks off with them powering up where Jafar.
No, I was going to say the most important scene of all of Ultraman Trigger is the fact that these characters,
Jafar,
Dave, and Schizo, are actually in the light of the sun.
I know, they didn't melt. It was like,
It was amazing.
Oh, they're gone. They're back inside.
We've come to the conclusion that they're not vampires. They can't exist in daylight.
Which is better than us. I mean, these two are goths and I'm pasty as can be.
But they still had no development whatsoever.
A little.
So they're doing this power thing to suck energy out of absolute shit. And
I love it that you keep taking my names.
and then he starts.
Well, and they're doing it with this like BFG.
And then he starts to break free, so our 3 Giants of Darkness show up to hold him there.
I was like, okay, this is the perfect example of the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
And Jafar's pretty sharp. He picks up on it. Although I feel like we've skipped a whole lot to get to the second half of the episode.
I'm trying to avoid the dancing scene.
Okay.
It is the dancing scene on the screen, only 15 minutes.
But so Ributo was training with Kengo and Nepotism. And basically because Nepotism and Kengo are supposed to be like a team.
Oh, okay.
Because they can
work off each other,
especially with Nepotism having Yuzari's powers. So he's trying to train them, and the reason for the dancing is because why not?
Well, the real reason is to have a dance number at the end credits, and I called it. I said, while we were watching this, oh god, this is going to be the closing credits, isn't it? Because we only got a few minutes at the end.
And then, then he dances and Reboot knocks him out.
But they danced very well. I was actually pretty impressed with the dexterity of
We're
their
forgetting
movements.
Bosco showing up and, hey, you want to dance with us? No, I'm good.
Restraining order?
Yeah, restraining order.
No, I'm good. I don't need to dance.
I love his little curl.
Oh, I know. Because Ributo had then, when he went to Henshin, he said, can I get your device and can I get the little key thingy? And obviously, restraining order is standing on the side.
Well, this is after Kengo finally finds his piece to be able to control Glitter Force. Transform is fighting absolute shit, and they finish powering up the Nurse Desi. And as they're fighting, he says to Nepotism, "Can I borrow your gun and stuff?" Because Ultras well, if we take human form, we need a device to access our light energy. And then he transforms into a reboot, and you have Bosco there like,
That's what I do with that shit.
Although again, we've skipped important. You guys are skipping all my favorite parts.
Okay, then you need to share.
Because part of this transformation for the Nurse Desi, which is the driving force of Operation Dragon, as he's describing this to Kengo and nepotism, they're flirting. Edgelord and Kengo are flirting. Yes, they honor the fact that they're flirting. This tsundere relationship is in full bloom.
Yeah, because in episode 14 they're arguing, and nepotism says, "Stop flirting and get to work."
I'm gonna clear the air here. I'm a Fujoshi. If you don't know what that means, go ahead and look it up.
Or don't.
Or don't. Because Rule 34...
It's a thing.
It's a thing. But I love yaoi stuff. I don't know if it's because of my preferences or what have you, but I love yaoi. So when nepotism calls out these two and says, "Stop flirting," I'm like, yes!
Well, the other thing I did, we skipped over that I didn't I was going to mention it later, is in episode 14, I did like some of the camera work. Like when they actually were showing the stuff going on, and then the building above Edgelord and nepotism gets hit, and you start seeing it come down.
Oh, yeah. And then Kengo, which I thought was kind of badass, does that transformation really simultaneously to stop the building.
Although, did anyone feel bad if there were people in that building?
Yes.
Oh, here comes Ultraman! You can't just fuck you, Ultraman!
I was just expecting Vegeta was going to be like, "Too bad it's Sunday. Tomorrow those buildings would have been full." But, so then, yeah, we have Ribbit and Kengo fight absolute shit, and they kill him with the Nurse Desi.
And the Nurse Desi transformation.
You mean when the leg came off?
Here's the thing. I love transforming robots. I love the engineering. But there's something so cop-outish about this piece disconnects and magically floats.
It makes me think of like the Zords from the Power Rangers movie from a few years ago, where they couldn't actually show you the Zords combined in the movie because the toys, you had to take them apart to rearrange everything, which that for me kind of defies the point. Like I guess I get putting like a chess piece on or something. But when you have actual pieces coming off to rearranged for like legs or limbs,
and cheating.
It's like, why didn't you just design the piece somewhere else then?
I guess that's one of the reasons why Abuse Soldiers mechs never really vibed for me.
It doesn't feel like a dragon really to me either.
But I did.
It feels like a line.
Well, it's based on the Chinese dragon.
I understand that, but it looks like a line.
It's based on Nurse from Ultra 7. And
I was waiting for you to say, yes, that's what I was thinking.
I did like that they actually said that they had based the design off the Nurse or Saucer Dragon from one of the alien beings.
Yes, the first meeting between Edgelord and the little alien, Maruka? Malulu. Their first meeting. Hey! We've met! Yes, we have. Flashback ended.
Yeah.
Saucer Dragon.
That's the other thing. Like I said, there's been no development for any of the characters that are like. Edgelord has the most development of all these Gut Select members, and even his bare minimum. And it's ridiculous.
Acknowledging his feelings for Kengo because they flirt.
But
I think you gotta be happy because you have been shipping so many characters in Kuga, and you finally get to ship 2 characters legitimately in Trigger.
Gambaru!
Well, it's not like they're truly, but...
Oh, go away with that. They were flirting.
Oh, by the end, they're going to be walking off hand in hand in the sunset, and Nepotism will be like, "Aw, oh." And then, like, Restrainer will be like, "Hey.
Yo.
No, it'll be the other one. The,
Dave? Yo!
No, Dargon?
Oh,
like,
you mean Stalker.
Okay.
So, then they blow up absolute shit, and it's like, oh wow, they killed the villain for the other show instead of having any impact by killing one of these villains. I really think personally, I think it should have been one of the 3 Giants of Darkness that were in this battle, and they're the ones that get killed. Because I don't feel like having Diavolos.
Horse.
There's no S.
Diavolo. I don't feel like there was any impact to him dying from them because he's not a villain of Trigger, especially when then we see 20 seconds later, Tartarus just resurrects him because, heaven forbid, we kill him not in the sequel to Absolute Conspiracy that's coming out.
Oh yes, this is an Eternity Hearts. So guys, you can never die. I feel like there's an implied "as you know" in that statement.
Oh, it was terrible because I'm like,
I know.
what was the point of killing?
As I know.
What was the point of killing him if you were just going to resurrect him? Just have where he gets weakened to the point where he's like, okay, I'm going to have to leave. We're going to have to forego the Eternity Core. And so just having him just write off, yep, you're back, we'll just come back for the Eternity Core later, was like, then what was the whole freaking point of this?
Yeah, the Eternity Core is not a threat. They just whooped your ass with the Eternity Core. It's actually more threat now.
And
that it's controlled.
So it should have been one of the Giant of Darkness. It should have been Hoodrum, who fought in this battle and died, because then it could have had some sort of impact that the villains you've had since the beginning, one of them dies here, you're like, oh crap, stakes are real, and now you would have Dargon and Carmilla,
Ultra ex-girlfriend.
They're just like, he just took out one of our own. Now we're going to make things personal.
Although, one thing we've glossed over is the Ultra ex-girlfriend's human form.
I was getting to that.
Oh, okay.
Well, let him.
Yeah.
Well, you see this lady approaching the base, and, well, I'm totally not a villain. But then she pulls out her signature move. So later when she transforms, like, oh, I hope this goes well. And it's like, Transformers, like,
Was that supposed to be surprising?
Yes!
Well, it was so frustrating, because you have this random female character. Even if she did not do her signature move, she was just a random female character with this pseudo-gothy type, edgy style. It was obvious, because anytime a new character is introduced in anything tokusatsu, anytime, you can see it a mile away, it's going to be somebody related to the villains. Very rarely do you get a secret hidden character
It's usually disc locked.
that's like going to be a part of the story that's not like, oh, this is going to be one of the villains.
Yeah, it was pointless to have her have, and she didn't do anything in the human form.
No, she didn't.
So what
She
was
beat
the
up
entire?
3 guys.
It's like, did they just feel they needed some fan service, so they put in this goth girl just to have like some guys go, ooh.
Oh, she's really kicking that guy's ass. I feel very strange about this.
Like,
I found it to be a waste of hiring an actress for really nothing. Like, even if it was an obvious trope a mile away that was going to be somebody related, it would have been kind of cool if they did something with her and she didn't transform by the end of the episode, so anybody could have at least still pretended to question it. And then maybe in the next episode, have it be of some purpose.
yeah,
Like she could infiltrate the team or something.
there was no point to that. Maybe it's somebody won a contest to appear in the show, and they just decided to make that person be the human form of Carmilla, and that was their only appearance.
Then would be a little kid. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I'm on TV.
Yeah, this
that
whole
was going to be
thing-
a 20-something's chick.
20? She was like 18, 19.
Okay,
I refuse to speculate.
an adult-ish woman.
Okay, well, either way. But yeah, it was utterly pointless to give her a human form. And then Reboot goes back to his universe.
He says,
Bye.
Bye. But I love that his Ultraman form, he looks directly at the camera. You want my toy, don't you? You want to buy my figure and transformation extension.
And then we have the commander who excused Kengo and nepotism earlier, saying, "Oh, they've got a good reason for blah blah blah," which obviously because he knows, and then yelling like, "You need to get here now!" Because I did like the scene when they walked into Akito's shop, and he's like, okay, the one downside of having the ship transform is everything flies everywhere.
Makes sense.
Which made me think of Macross, because it's the only other mech series or thing that had a mech that I recall them actually showing the aftermath of it actually transforming.
Well, I was also thinking of Q Ranger when the Orion battleship transformed and they're all holding on for their life to the console. But yeah, it's very rare that you realize, oh yeah, the kitchen dumped all the contents. There was also Fafnir, a moving island, and they had to tape all the cabinets shut.
But yeah, so that part I did find funny. That was probably one of the best things for me, outside of the miniature work. And then the episode ends with Bosco
restraining order
transforming
into Dark Trigger. Now, personally, I'm happy that they aren't doing away with the Dark Trigger suit, as I really like the design. I'm especially curious about the exposed gold under the left breastplate. So, Dark Trigger glides there, but that was the other frustration with this episode. Kengo acknowledges he's both Ultraman and human. I still think it would have been more interesting for him to reconcile I am light and darkness. I'm not meant to just be one thing.
Well,
and now but I'm light and human. I'm perfect and human.
Yeah, it's and then we have the closing credits with that song dance number that shows them doing the full dance.
So everyone can get along. Now, what I wonder is, will we then see the whole crew doing it, a la most of the Sentai endings?
I just want to know.
I miss those.
I miss episodes that are going to develop the other characters. I want Dave to have an episode to himself. I want Schizo to have an episode to herself. I want to know why Jafar is the commander. I want to know what he did to make him rank up that high.
I want to know why Jafar has that evil-looking goatee.
I want to know what... I want to also...
He's from a mirror universe.
I want to actually see them also on the field hunting down aliens and stuff. Like what we saw in the vampire episode of Tiga I showed you guys yesterday.
Yes, we saw an episode of Tiga before this. Now here's the thing. The Tiga episode had no ads. Good Lord, YouTube went... hog wild on 3 commercial sets per episode?
Yes, it was fucking ridiculous.
Well, yeah, we had the normal commercial breaks for the show itself, which are broken into after the opening, twice in the episode, and before the closing.
I still remember when we were watching episode 15 and I accidentally stopped the playthrough. And
it was during the dance scene. I thought this was an act of protest.
Yeah, she hit the button. It was like, oh, have you just quit? Are you walking away? Like, I quit.
I like dance scenes, but okay, when you picture Zenkaiser next to this, I understand why people could get frustrated with Two Kaiser dancing. But I like the idea of Two Kaiser dancing as a part of his transformation. This dancing...
made no sense.
It really didn't connect anything. Sure, I understand many dancers do feel that Zen-like approach where they're all at peace because they can feel their body and their movements. But for this particular situation, I'm like, really, what is the point of dancing?
Well, and okay, the other thing that pisses me off about these
I always
two...
like the Q Ruger dance.
The pelvic thrust? Oh, Kyurager.
Q Ranger was something very...
Q Ranger was the pelvic thrust until the kid came in.
Q Ruger was...
Kyurager!
I like the samba dance.
Vamala mucho. So...
But, okay, then the other thing that I have to say that pissed me off about Trigger, they keep saying, this is new generation Tiga. Then why don't you have a freaking Halloween episode with the witch monster?
Okay, honey.
Have a Halloween episode! Be like Tiga, have a Halloween episode!
There's many other things that they could do to be like Tiga, but guess what? They're not going to. They mean new generation Tiga because it's been 25 years.
30.
Okay.
It came out in 91?
Oh, yeah, 25. Shut up. Quiet you.
Actually, I'm just having a picture of like kaiju in a straitjacket being dragged down a padded hallway, screaming, "Why did that happen?"
You should have had the Halloween monster in this episode. Halloween! It was Halloween! Ooh, freaking Zen Kaiser's having a Halloween episode.
Hey, I'll kill you all! Is what he's screaming.
But, seriously,
He's like, I'll kill you, bitches! But
no development for the characters. No characters go out in the field, really.
No
they go on
Tiga
a
monsters.
They go on a roof. I really want to celebrate the fact that they got some fresh air.
Yes, they did. They didn't have that recirculated oxygen. They actually got to be outside with the birds, the bees.
For the whole 25, like the whole 30
the-
seconds they were out there, it felt like.
But the thing
They
is,
pushed a button.
they may have been out there for a lot longer than that. They could have had like adventures that we never saw. They could have gone to the store. They could have ate at a restaurant. They could have found the loves of their lives. They could have had so many experiences. And we at least knew that they were outside and they could actually go outside. Because I was wondering for a while if they were just holograms. Or if they were just like androids, which they could be like androids, because Dave's teeth can come out of his mouth somehow when he looks at it. I tried doing it, and I have no physical idea how he extends his jaw. He's like a xenomorph, and it's like so weird. But think of all that they could have done. Jafar could have finally got Jasmine. Dave could have finally got his new exercise equipment. Schizo could
have seen a psychologist.
Yes! They could have had experiences. They could have had so much more. What?
You're passionate.
Yes!
I was thinking they could have started a band and reached the top charts before they broke up due to creative differences in an afternoon. Then you could have a new ending theme and it's them playing in their band. And Marlulu could be the fourth member.
But in all honesty, Jafar was like all into being outside. And they looked so fresh-faced. They looked healthy.
They didn't spontaneously combust.
No! What kind of like random thing could you picture them doing in their time outside? Don't you have any like aspirations for them?
I want to see them hunt down aliens.
Maybe they did that. Maybe they had this whole film noir scenario happen where they were like caught up in a shootout. Dave sounded like Humphrey Bogart. And it was
Bogarts? Did you just say Bogart?
No, I said Bogart. And they were like having so much fun and everything.
Wait, isn't Bogarts the Ultraman toys?
But just think about it. It could have been like Chinatown or Dark City.
Okay,
Or
anyway,
so many
on
other
that note,
neo-noirs.
Forget it, Cruellica.
Nothing-
It's Ultratown.
True.
ultra ancient town.
Ultra ancient town. Won't you take me down to
But no matter what, I am going to keep with me forever the fact that the best couple is Kengo and Edgelord. I'm so happy for them. And it's kind of but in all honesty, joking aside, the fact that a female character in a Japanese show that's live action said stop flirting actually says something about their culture. Because Japan is actually, if you think Americans are homophobic, I need to introduce you to Japan, where they just now have started having trans, non-binary, and gender fluid actors and actresses within their television shows. So to have a character make a comment about two guys, even if it's just in jest, that's huge for Japanese television.
You mean for advancement?
For advancement. That's such a step forward for the LGBTQ community, because it's acknowledging that you need to have a sense of humor and you need to be open-minded about it and you need to actually respect
You need to smile, smile.
Well, exactly. But no, I appreciated that for what it was, because usually when you get those types of comments, they are in yaoi and yuri
So
shows
we've got-
that are like such on the fringe that they're really in anime form and nothing else. So there's my PSA for the moment.
So we've got about 10 episodes left of this series.
Yes, you're like one of those birds that like dunks into the water right now. Doo,
Boom.
doo, doo,
Boom.
doo, doo,
Boom.
This is actually very soothing.
doo.
Boom.
I feel at peace. Have we thought about making a meditation video out of this?
Okay, you're making me dizzy.
Ooh, calm dizzy.
Yes. Okay, enough. We have 10 episodes left.
Yes, we have 10 episodes left. So we're gonna get something in these next 10 episodes, right? Like,
Well-
we're gonna get some development of characters.
Well, it's funny you say that they should have killed off Mr. Excellence, because now that Dark Trigger's on the field, they'll probably deal more of direct conflict between those two.
Yeah, they should have killed off one of the main giants. That's all there is to it. This two-parter had no purpose whatsoever outside of Nurse Desi and Trigger being able to suddenly now control his glitter.
Although what would have been interesting is if they killed the Ultra X girlfriend, and what was left of her reforms into a human, and she needs the Eternity Core now to get back her Ultra form.
That would have been far more interesting.
Oh
than
yes,
what they
that
did.
would have actually been an interesting development.
You know what is better than this?
What?
Anything!
Oh no, it's going.
Now,
Let the comms take you.
not Ultra 7X. Ultra 7X is not better than this.
Oh, she's interrupting the flow. My chakra.
Okay. Come
With
on.
that said-
Well, you have to do it together. You have to do it at the same
You
time.
can.
So start. Okay,
Ow.
now go down.
You're.
Well now.
Anyway.
Well now.
With that said-
Yaoi shipping really.
What did you guys think of these last 2 episodes? Let us know in the comments. Click like, subscribe, the bell notification, everything else YouTube has you doing to support channels. You can check us out at Kaiju no Kami on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, my website, creativitybydesignllc.com. You can also check out the creativitybydesignllc.com store to buy cool Kaiju no Kami merchandise. And we have...
Silver Quill on YouTube and DeviantArt and Twitter. Just look for MLP Silver Quill. You shall find me. And if you check fanfiction.net, we might get some Silver Quill Kaiju no Kami shipping based on Cruellica's encouragements.
Sure, why not? But with all of that said, everyone, happy Halloween and bye!
Bye. Boom.